Hi, and welcome to Anne's Family Recipe. Today we're making a cold weather comfort food classic, beef stew. This video is in collaboration with Amber from the YouTube channel HouseWifeGlamLife. On Amber's channel, you'll find super creative DIYs and craft ideas, cleaning routines, travel vlogs, and of course, delicious recipes. Today, we're both sharing one of our favorite fall comfort food dinner recipes, so make sure you check out her channel. I'll post a link to her video in the description box below. To start my stew recipe, I have about 2 tablespoons of olive oil heating up in my Dutch oven over about medium to medium high heat. And then to that, I'm going to add 2 pounds of beef stew meat. I'm going to cook this stew meat until it browns on all sides, and then we're going to add lots of liquid to it and let it stew all afternoon until it gets nice and tender. The meat's nice and brown, so I drained off a little bit of the excess fat, and now we're going to season it and add the cooking liquid. So first I'm just going to season this generously with some salt and pepper and garlic powder. And then for the liquid, I'm going to use a whole container, which is about 4 cups of low sodium beef broth. Growing up, whenever my mom made beef stew, she would always add 1 can of Campbell's tomato soup. So my best option right now, what I had in my pantry, is a can of tomato sauce. So we're gonna add that. I really do like, as opposed to just a beef broth base, I like that little bit of tomatoey base in the background of my beef stew. So we'll pour this 8-ounce can of tomato sauce in. And to add a little bit of a savory flavor, we're gonna add about a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce too. To enhance the tomato flavor, I'm also going to add a couple tablespoons of tomato paste. And then we'll stir that all together. I'm going to cover the meat and bring it to a boil, and then reduce it to a simmer and let it cook for at least 2 hours, and then the meat will start to break down and get nice and tender. Then we'll add in our vegetables and cook it for an additional probably 30 to 45 minutes, so everything will be nice and soft and cooked together. As the meat simmers for the next couple of hours, I'm going to get to work on chopping up all my vegetables. Now, I haven't washed or peeled any of these yet, but I just wanted to show you the variety that I'm using today. So I have 2 turnips here. They're the ones with the slightly purplish skin. So those just need to be washed and peeled, and you can give them a rough chop. I have a couple of golden potatoes, which have a really thin skin, so you don't even need to peel those. You can just dice them up. I have a couple of parsnips, and in case you've never seen one, looks kind of like a white carrot. These have an interesting flavor. They're sort of like a spicy version of a carrot, so not spicy meaning hot, but just spicy in kind of a peppery way. They're a really great addition. A couple of gigantic carrots, you can see they're really fat, but those will be good. That's probably my favorite veggie that I add to stew because they're nice and sweet. And I'm also going to add some sweet potatoes today. I've got 2 little ones over here, a couple of cloves of garlic in the back, and then a big onion that I'll chop up. And you can add any kind of vegetables that you want. Any kind of winter squash that's available right now, like butternut squash, acorn squash would be delicious. So I'm going to wash these, peel them, chop them all up, and then we'll add them into our meat. I added all my chopped vegetables in with the beef and the broth, and now they're simmering away, probably for a good 45 minutes or so. You want to check to make sure they're fork tender before you serve it up. I also wanted to mention that you don't have to add any potatoes, especially if you're going to be serving this with mashed potatoes on the side. But my new favorite way to serve beef stew is with cheesy grits. So I added a couple potatoes in today. Those Yukon Gold potatoes are really nice because they'll maintain a nice creamy texture as they cook. My cooking liquid reduced down as the meat simmered, so I also added about 2 cups of water to cover the vegetables so that they would cook evenly. I served my stew over a generous helping of creamy cheddar grits, which was an amazing combination. I didn't even need a knife to cut the meat, it was so tender. This stew really is the perfect fall comfort food. Thank you for joining me in my kitchen, and if you're visiting from HouseWifeGlamLife's channel, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you again soon for another family recipe. For the full recipe, check the description box below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for joining me in my kitchen.